So today we're going to show you how to make your own $1 do-it-yourself conductive ink. This is a great project for kids and anyone interested in learning the basics of electronics and electronic circuits. Conductive ink is a great way to draw circuits on paper, cardboard, wood, etc. And this is a very cheap way to do it. You can use the remains from your fireplace or the weekend's barbecue. So first, you start your fire and you let it brown until the end. The next day, you will have only charcoal left. Charcoal is mostly made out of carbon, and carbon is the primary ingredient for our conductive ink. Carbon is one of the most abundant chemical elements in the Earth's crust, and one of the most abundant elements in the universe and in living organisms. Diamonds are made out of carbon, but they do not conduct electricity, while graphene, used in pencils for example, is a good conductor. We also found that charcoal is a very good conductor. However, not all pieces of carbon are conductive. Using a digital multimeter, we measure the resistance of charcoal pieces in ohms. Some pieces have a resistance of over 200,000 ohms, which make them much less conductive, and some pieces just have 50 or less. So the less resistance, the more conductivity each piece has. This probably is due to the higher concentration of carbon. Some pieces don't get burned as much during a fire, and some pieces of wood get all their water and other substances evaporated much more. So just get the pieces that have less resistance to electricity to make a higher conductive ink. Once you have selected the most conductive pieces, put them in a bowl and throw some water on them. This will moisture the charcoal for the next step. What we'll do next is use a juice blender to crush the charcoal pieces into carbon dust. So put the pieces inside the blender and try using a bit of water to make it easier for the blender to work. You can continue blending at higher speeds for about 5 to 10 minutes. At the end of the blending process, you will have a mix of water and fine carbon dust. You can touch it to check if there are no large pieces left. Once you finish blending, just pour the mix into a glass. You will have to let the mix sit there for a couple of hours. This way, the dust will sit at the bottom and you can take out some of the clear water on the top. Now you can take out the top clear water from the glass. Repeat this action until you start getting some dark water. And next, you will add a little bit of black colored, non-toxic water paint, normally used by children in schools. And also add a little bit of clear Elmer's glue to the mix. These two ingredients will thicken your conductive ink. They will give it a deeper black color and more consistency. And now you're ready. Just stir your ink a little bit every time you want to use it so that the carbon particles are evenly distributed. You can now start drawing circuits and use other electronic components such as LEDs and relays. There are lots of tutorials on YouTube on how to make electronic circuits on paper. One of our favorite applications is to use conductive ink together with Arduino controller boards. We got a Makey Makey board directly from the inventors at the Maker Fair in San Mateo, and we used it to paint a digital piano on paper. Now, because most conductive inks commercially available are made with metal particles like silver, they are much more conductive than this self-made ink. If you're using a board such as the Makey Makey, this ink is perfect. It's very low cost and it will conduct the small current needed for the Makey Makey to sense the contacts. If you tried this tutorial, please send us some feedback. We would love to know if it worked for you and how we can make a more efficient, more conductive ink out of everyday materials. Thank you.